Hi, and welcome to another exciting edition of Scarlet Betch. I'm Jason.
And I'm Anthony.
We have a shite ton to talk about, so we're going to just jump right in there. First thing we want to talk about is that there's a new Betch on campus. I'm not sure if... this book hasn't really been on my radar because I don't read a lot of DC, but Batman, in Batman number 12, there was a character named Harper who was introduced like 4 or 5 issues ago that mysteriously helped Batman, and there was some it was evident that Batman knew her, but the readers didn't know anything about this person. They were like, what the fuck? So in this issue, we get Harper's origin story, or Harper's background, and she has a brother, Cullen, who's totally a Betch, or totally family, which is really exciting. But so I had some mixed feelings about what Cullen was, but I'd like to hear what you thought about Batman number 12.
Okay, about the book?
Yeah.
My initial thought about the book is, oh my gosh, we get a new Oracle. I'm very excited. I think she's so awesome. In Super Queers, I called her Punk Lady Gaga in the Sewers, which I think that's what she is to me. And she's got this cool gay brother, and she sticks up for him. His role, I think, is a lot like Holly Robinson's to Catwoman, which is, in one sense, like the gay sidekick cliche, but then it's also he's family to her, like he's her brother, and so I don't know. I think he'll be integral to things. I hope they don't kill him to get her angsty, and I think that their relationship dynamic is really cool. I think that when you're a superhero, you're a vigilante, so there's that aspect of recklessness and obsession that she's allowed because Cullen is there to take care of her. And I do like that there's that kind of reversal, because with Batman, you see that he's the reckless one and Alfred takes care of him, which is a dude-on-dude relationship. But you also get that with other characters in generally, I think, like a male-female. You have Green Lantern flying off because Carol's back there taking care of the homestead. And here we've got it reversed. And I like that. And there's a queer character in it. So I'm totally down. And everyone has asymmetrical haircuts. So I'm really excited.
One of the big things I liked was the haircuts. I thought that they were really great.
I did get the thing, and then the bag thing, and then it was awesome.
Yeah. So yay, punk rock haircuts. So a few things that I liked about Cullen. Well, I liked that even though his queerness was kind of, I wouldn't say stereotypical, but it was kind of expected. You know fashion and are preparing your sister's hair, and I'm like, okay, that's all kind of okay, whatever, it's Bravo, whatever. The Bravo generation. But
But he was not dressed like Kurt Hummel.
Yeah, that's true. I was like, okay, but the way you're presenting is not that. So I think that does inform a lot about his character, about how how he's kind of very, maybe not in the closet, but his gender performance maybe not be as free as his internal performance. I don't know, but a lot of his he represented to me a lot of what a young queer person is, which I don't think we get to see a whole lot of, because even though Wiccan and Hulkling are teenage boyfriends, they're nerds first and foremost. So Cullen is a very different kind of queer comic book character, which I think is great.
That is so true. That is so true. We usually get the gay nerd perspective, but this is completely different.
I kind of caught aback by this because Tim was all boy crazy over Tim Drake, and I was so yay, Tim Drake Cullen fanfic. I'm totally for that. But B, I was is Tim Drake widely? I was really confused about the Tim Drake reference because it's been talked about and discussed in kind of DC, this new DC continuity, that Tim Drake was never Robin. Tim Drake just became Red Robin. He was never a Robin before. Which was a lot of fans were what the fuck? But so if
dear fans, how long do you want him to be Robin? 3 months?
Yeah.
Because that's about how long he has.
Yeah, but so then my confusion then is if he was never Robin and he never discovered Batman and Bruce Wayne and all that jazz, then what is his connection? Why is Tim Drake connected to Bruce Wayne? So I
But
was
he is
like,
connected to Bruce Wayne, right?
but how?
I mean, we're gonna get that in issue 0, right?
Maybe, I guess, I don't know. I did enjoy the fact that Cullen is little boy crazy. That's cute.
Okay, so in my mind, and I have not necessarily like looked into the whole Tim Drake thing. I assumed he had been a Robin, and there were just like magic wave your hands timelines going on. But I definitely assumed he was with Batman, and he like was still his adopted kid or whatever. Because like all the Robins are like Bruce Wayne's adopted boy children. So something. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess that raises a lot of questions now in me too, as to what exactly is going on. But yeah, I definitely thought he was one of the Bruce Wayne kids in that. Like Harper is related to him. I thought Harper was going to be like a romantic interest for Tim in some way.
Oh, maybe.
But and that like the whole gala when she went to the gala and met Alfred and stuff, I thought she was gonna like run into Tim there and then be like awkward romantic tension, blah blah. But yeah, and then the way Cullen was talking about him seemed like Tim Drake was some kind of celebrity.
Yeah,
like,
which I was like, I didn't think that Tim Drake would be a celebrity, but but
dudes.
I also loved Alfred in this issue. He was totally like, I don't know. Like,
So Alfred,
yeah, it was wonderful. But moving
with
on,
all these Robins running around, there's no room for Alfred to be Alfred.
I guess talking about other teenage gay boys. So a bunch of Archie stuff came out within the past 2 weeks. So there was the Life with Archie, which had some suspenseful stuff with Kevin Keller. And then also there was a Kevin Keller Goes to the Olympics. So I'll leave it to you which one you want to talk about first, Anthony.
Let's talk about the Olympics first.
Okay. This Olympics episode or issue was wonderfully goofy and ridiculous.
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought that I was gonna hate it. It was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so gimmicky. But it was just so slapstick and over the top that I just couldn't get over it. There were so many plot holes, but I didn't care about any of it, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's one of the first times Kevin Keller hasn't had like a message.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and it was also the first time where they had a whole bunch of characters that, like you were saying earlier, definitely seemed to be gay, just in terms of like, this is my old buddy, he was like family. This is his new friend on the committee who looks exactly like me.
Yeah.
So in the same way that I look like my boyfriend's exes.
Yeah, so basically, like, Kevin Keller goes to London because his dad is going to be a torchbearer, because evidently, like,
something.
They had a surrogate, like, you know, son in Britain who's now on the British track team, and blah, 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 blah. So, a few questions. First, if so this friend of Kevin Keller's must be either a really young track star, who's like 18 and like awesome at track, or Kevin's a little like, you know, in the college kids, just saying. It's like very clear to me, at least I totally read when his British track friend came to meet Veronica and Archie, or Veronica and Kevin in the like the soda shop or whatever. Like, I was like, they were totally boyfriends, and that's totally what it is.
Yeah, I feel like it was all. I kept expecting them to pull another, like, a repeat of the Veronica thing, which is like, I have a crush on this boy. Oh, he's hot. Oh, he's gay. What? Except, like, British version. But that never actually happened.
No, did
they mention, like, that the guy that Veronica had a crush on her? Was there something about that? Or did they just talk about how Veronica clearly has a crush on this guy?
I think it was just Veronica being quite crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my head,
I identify with you.
But in my head, the Kevin Keller's ex-boyfriend's new boyfriend / guy at the International Olympic Committee, who would be really young to be on the International Olympic Committee for like torchbearers. Just saying. Like, so he was also blonde and hunky, and
yeah, but who said they're the same age?
That's true.
Adrian said it's 16 over there.
That is very true. But what I just thought that so when his friend brings us like his new friend who's also blonde, I'm like, oh, I know that move. You show up to brunch with your ex with your new boyfriend. I see you. I see you.
I expected there to be some tension between the two.
Right?
Like, oh, you're dating my British ex. I don't like you. But there was nothing.
Yeah. And I know that we can't have this because it's already been established how they met in Life with Archie, but I really would like to see like a young, was it Clay or something?
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
cool.
Clay. Mm-hmm.
But moving, so that guess that transitions us to the Life with Archie stuff. In this issue, we actually don't get to see very much of Kevin. We get to see a lot more Clay, which I think is great because we don't really know very much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And he does the cool hero thing. And then they spend the other half of the issue like, did he get shot? Is he dead? What was the ambulance going fast for? What?
I don't think he got shot.
I think he got shot. So he's gonna have a wound, and it's gonna bring Kevin back to Sunny. What are they? Sunnydale? Is that where they live?
Riverdale.
No, that's where Buffy lives.
Yeah.
Where do they live?
Riverdale.
Riverdale, the other Dale.
Uh-huh.
Not Helmo's Dale.
But so then, why do you think nobody wants like to be seen by Dr. Clay?
I don't know.
I think
that's gonna bring it all to the fore, and I think they're gonna resolve it because he's now this hero, community hero, and that's gonna get business drummed up. I felt like they were hinting at people didn't want to go to him because he was a homo.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. That's the direction I saw it going,
Uh-huh.
just based on what Archie comics have done in the past on the Kevin Keller's series. Do you think there's something more to that? Do you think it's
No, I'm completely clueless. I'm just wondering out loud.
Do you think we missed any other issue? There was a whole lot of exposition in this issue, and I've been like checking Life with Archie to see like if they mention Kevin or Clay.
Yeah, well, there's just so many different characters that I just can't keep track of them all. And,
Yeah.
and then plus the fact that it's like it's Archie and Veronica and Archie with Betty. Like you have these alternate timelines that are going on simultaneously with all these different characters. It's just like, okay, now you're with this person, that person, and now you're switched, and it's just so crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's interesting that like they're in the Veronica story, or they're in the
Veronica story.
Yeah, they're in the Veronica.
Not in the Betty story.
That's interesting, but yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. That's my prediction. My prediction is that he's gonna be in the hospital. He's gonna be fine, but he got shot. He was only wounded. It didn't hit any vital organs, and he's gonna get a robot leg. And then everyone is going.
And then Kevin's gonna have to stay home, and he won't be able to go abroad.
Exactly. Oh, do you think they're gonna have marital tension because of that? Do you think they're gonna have marital tension because he was just re-enlisting?
Oh yeah, and then there'll be this thing where he has to help Clay walk again, just like
on his robot leg.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Okay, well now that we've written Art Life with Archie for Dan Parent, let's move on. Batwoman made several appearances in her own book, and Batgirl. But no, I feel like there's so Batwoman came out. Batwoman guest starred in Batgirl. Wonder Woman came out. Wonder Woman guest starred in Batwoman. There was so much like guest starring. It's like it's a comic book sweeps right now. It's crazy.
Definitely. I thought you were going to raise the point that Batwoman made like 1/6 of an appearance in the last storyline that they just went through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. But yeah, no, that one was all up in this. I really enjoyed J.H. Williams III back on art. It was interesting it's always interesting seeing other people do their take on his style.
Yeah, that's the thing that I noticed, that like J.H. Williams' art style is so embedded in Batwoman that like when other people do Batwoman, they copy it.
I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was so meta and so good in Batgirl when they had Batwoman enter, and when she enters, the art changes to Batwoman style. I don't know, did you notice any blending of the two art styles after that? I felt like they kind of went back to Batgirl style.
Yeah, no, they did. I actually went back and checked to see if more of the art bled through. But as far as I can tell, that was it. Her entrance was like the J.H. Williams, and then there was no.
It was awesome. It was the best.
It was really, really good. But just talking about J.H. Williams, back on Batwoman, the art was superb, as it always is, but like, if you're not reading this book, you need to, because it is one of the best books out there that is being published, just because every single panel that you turn is a class in making comic books. He's completely deconstructing the form and like reassembling it right in front of your eyes, and it's amazing.
Okay. I also like the reference to that Wonder Woman. And
sorry, you're cutting out. What did you say?
Batwoman and her, or not Batwoman, sorry.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman and like being a sister of Sappho. That was cool. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and I also loved seeing J.H. Williams, because like J.H. Williams does a really great job about shifting the art for each different character. So like when Batwoman is going on, it's all like hyper realistic, like it's like kind of like elevated, almost painterly quality. But with Cat Kane, it's super like comic book pencils. But then it was really interesting to see how much so his take on Wonder Woman with Wonder Woman art style. I was surprised that it's almost like watercolory, and the contrast between like the whites and the colors is really like distinct, which I thought was interesting.
Totally. Yeah.
So jumping off from there to
Wonder Woman herself.
Wonder Woman herself. So, do you want to talk anything about this?
What happened in this issue? There was a lot of she got her flight in this issue.
Yeah,
she
did. Cool. That was cool.
That was way cool.
And then Zola had her baby. And
Zola had her baby.
We don't see the baby, but the baby gets stolen by Mercury. Sorry, spoilers.
And there was nothing unusual about the baby. Like the solicit, I don't know if you saw what the solicit was. It was like, and it's not what you would expect. And I'm like, yes, it was. It was a human baby.
Yeah. Well, did we actually get to see it? I don't know if we got to see it.
Yeah, right when Demeter wrapped it in all her leaf things.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Spoilers.
That's right. Yeah. Also, Demeter totally looked with her like little leaf chin. I'm like, Skrull. Demeter's a Skrull.
Yep. Yes, she is. I love Demeter. I love the gods in this thing.
Yeah, I think what surprised me about Wonder Woman and J.H. Williams, I thought that he was going to be taking a lot more direction from the Cliff Chiang style, because Cliff Chiang has a very distinct style, at least compared to a lot of the other DC books that are coming out right now.
Right.
And so I was surprised. So it's always good to see kind of like Cliff really get to kind of do his thing. But what I am interested in is I think Wonder Woman is like, I'm not really sure what the dramatic action is leading towards right now in Wonder Woman, because for a while it was like, oh, there's this woman who's like kind of like my aunt, because I just found out my dad is Zeus, and then he's gone, and then now we're fighting for his throne, but then I was in hell, and then so I'm like, I'm loving like the entire new take on Wonder Woman. I'm loving all these great artistic choices, but I don't really know where we're going. So
that's the thing. I feel like there hasn't been an end to any of the storylines. Like there's just been an end to the episodes, and it's kind of, I mean, if we're gonna draw comparisons to other stories, it's a lot like the Odyssey in that we're like, this is the Hell chapter. This is the Olympus chapter.
But
and we're like, just closed the Olympus chapter, and we're going on to an Earth chapter or whatever.
Yeah, but at least we knew where like Odysseus was going. We knew that Odysseus was trying to get home. But Wonder Woman right now, it's just like, she's fighting shit, and gods are crazy, and like, who are we gonna reveal next week? So I do wish that the writing was a little more clear about the direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really true. It does feel like kind of the story is a little reactionary. Like, I introduced this idea. Now what does that mean? What happens? And that's really true. I had not thought of that. I was just strapped in for the ride at this point. But that's a really, really good question. I feel like this story is kind of like, the storyline appears to be about the child. I don't know. Yeah. With Zola being the inciting event, and then this like the big cliffhanger ending was that something happened to the baby. I don't know. But,
But okay, so moving right along.
right.
Avengers Academy came out, I think, this week.
Right.
So yeah, just to recap. So I guess our main interest in it is I guess there are two queer characters, Stryker and Julie Powers.
Lightspeed.
Lightspeed. But the main reason I wanted to talk about this was two reasons. First, I thought that so in this we get I guess I haven't really been reading Avengers Academy, so I didn't realize that the Young Masters were part of this this brilliant.
I think it was a reveal last issue that
Okay.
that the Alchemist had recruited the Young Masters.
Okay.
I mean, because I think they're this superpowered team that's just kind of like canon and floating out there. But I mean, they were in a. It wasn't. Was it even Alan? What's his name again?
No, Alan Heinberg. No. He.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually got to do anything with the Young Masters. I think they.
Yeah, exactly. They were like an idea of his that someone else did in a limited series during a tie-in.
Yeah,
and
Civil
so
War or something.
I felt their characterizations were always like, there's that concept that like the person who comes up with the idea should give it a go first, so we can get like who these characters were in this person's mind, so we can build off of that. But it was something like there was this idea that he wanted to bring in, but he was too busy doing TV stuff that didn't matter and I don't like. And then someone else took it, and especially characters like Enchantress had this weird, or not Enchantress, what's her name?
Oh, Coat of Arms.
No, not Coat of Arms. The one who was like
yeah.
it was unclear whether she had delusions of grandeur
Yeah, I can't remember
or
what,
she was acting.
I can't remember what her superhero name is. I think it's Enchantress. Or
Okay, maybe it's Enchantress, and she's like based off of someone like the Sorceress or something like that.
No. She's based off of Enchantress, but I don't know what her.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Yeah, I call her Enchantress. Let's call her Lil Enchantress. So
Yeah.
Lil Enchantress, right? I thought they give her a more solid character in this book, where she's just kind of a little ditzy, and I think I think they grounded that side of her character. And like, if they're gonna give her an Asgardian half, I don't know if they're gonna make it like a split personality, if they're gonna make it like something that possesses her, if they're gonna make it a side effect of something. But I did like that they made her this kind of Hollywood-esque character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so my big thing was that I really disliked their portrayal of Coat of Arms, because the Coat of Arms that we see in Young Avengers Civil War or whatever, where, there's this like romance between Speed and Coat of Arms, was that Coat of Arms is this total kind of like anti-hero. She has good morals, she's like comes from this like creative art space, and is like genuinely kind of like a good ethical person. And then like in this she's like, I'ma cut you, and I'm like with all my arms, with all my soul, I'ma cut you so bad. And I'm like, but this is totally like a sweet girl.
Here's the thing about Coat of Arms in this representation. So a lot of the time they'll associate characters like Mr. Sinister or Apocalypse with science, right? Evolution, natural selection, and then they'll be like those things. They'll make the character like super evil and a little two-dimensional, thereby stating that these concepts like science and natural selection are evil. And like, I feel like that's what they did with Coat of Arms, except that instead of it being a scientific theory that is the casualty here, it's art.
Art, yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, and also the way that she like justifies like I don't know, like mass murder. It's like, oh, the old masters need to be thrown down so art can be like new and reborn and creation and whatever. I'm like, that's a really bad rationale, even as like far as supervillains go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I definitely think that Coat of Arms has gotten shortchanged in this storyline, but
yeah. I also want to know where Big Zero's like, vision is. Egghead. What I think what is it? Egghead.
Right. Yeah, Egghead. Yeah, I've completely forgotten about him.
Yeah, her glorified vibrator.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. None of the boys are there. It's only the girls.
One of the girls. But that's all who we cared about anyway. All the boys are boring.
Yeah, Egghead was a glorified vibrator. The one who melted stuff was super boring.
Yeah.
What was
boring,
the other one?
Melty stuff? Yeah, and then the other one was the Punisher. With the stupid. I think he died too. It was really boring.
Gosh.
Yeah. But speaking of another book where we don't care about the boys, we only care about the girls, New Mutants.
Yeah. I don't care about any of the boys.
No.
Cypher, sometimes I like, most of the time, don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But side note about Cypher, Barack Obama was asked about what superpowers he wanted, and he totally was like, I want language powers. I'm like, you're totally Doug Cypher. Or yeah, Doug Ramsey. That's awesome.
Should have said that. He should have named that.
I know,
like,
right?
Like Doug Ramsey, Cypher, from the New Mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know comic books. What about it? What about it?
I want to talk about New Mutants because last issue we talked about how we were sick and tired of Karma getting how her character is defined by her victimhood, and then this issue was completely about making Karma a victim in every way possible. Like it was.
They had Face killed. Shoot her.
Yeah, they bring up Face, who we haven't seen in like a year, and then the first thing he does on camera is like blast his only friend in the universe, only link to like the waking world, and just like kills her. And I'm like, okay, we literally fridged the refrigerator. It's like it's out of control.
That is like number one key example of blaming the victim. Because the whole Face storyline was someone looking for a way to write off Karma. And now, this ridiculous storyline with this unwritable character destroyed the person who was the victim of his creation. And it's just like, what? Why did you do that? Why do you think it was a good idea? Why not use this as an opportunity to get rid of Face until we have... This is what's going to happen with Face. Someone's going to go, I don't know what that has to do with this stupid character. Let's give it to Peter David. And then Peter David's going to be like, I combine it with a death god, and I give it magic doom powers, and an eyeball so it can blink. And then done. Good. Now it's a character.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to raise my hand at Dragon Con and be like, Peter David, I know we're at a panel where we're talking about getting published in the comic industry, but I'd like to be very off topic here and ask you how you feel about being the place where bad comic book characters go to get rehabilitated. I would like to know your thoughts on that. Anyway, that was my rant.
Yeah.
Here you go, guys.
Did you want to talk about anything but X Factor? It did come out.
It did come out.
Yeah.
We see...
The one thing that I loved was the total soap opera super speed aging of Rain's son, who she had like 3 weeks ago. And is now
That's the alternate dimension cousin? Oh my gosh. This is like comic book microcosm happening right in front of us.
Yeah, it's a little out of control. But that was great. How the wolf 3-week-old, 12-year-old son recognizes his mother instantaneously, and it's like all cool with it. And I'm like, what? You're supposed to be like Connor and like go all apeshit on your parents, but whatever.
I don't know. What was Magic like? She was super angsty too. Yeah, you're supposed to go apeshit. That's what happens.
Yeah.
We didn't age you so you could be well adjusted. Duh.
And the only other things that I liked in it was the Darwin coming back. But I thought that Darwin I don't like this name Darwin.
Because he's a villain?
Yeah, well, just because I feel like Darwin before was so much more, I don't know, not necessarily like full of life, but like he was just like,
I feel like that would be a very apt description and as well an explanation as to his new character. Now he's full of death. So yeah, but I liked him. I was like, great, you made him interesting. You gave him a curse and a gift, and you developed his powers a little bit, and gave him a mission. So he's got something that he wants in every scene. Awesome. Whereas before he was just like, I just sit here and evolve. What? And you gave him a tick for his interaction with other people. Like, gave him. I think he can't touch people. I don't know. Like, you made him a rogue a little bit. I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's good progress for Darwin. But what got on your nerves? Because I cut you off with
Okay.
my Peter David. What's that called?
Okay. Okay.
Journalism.
You just stopped being unfrozen now. You were frozen for like 30 seconds. I was like, okay, I don't know when to stop you. It's okay. It'll be fine.
You can just do like this. You can also cut out my huge rant about whatever.
um, was it where we were talking about Peter David and Darwin?
Now, you were going to talk about why you don't like this new Darwin. So start with that.
Oh well, I just I guess with Darwin, I like since so it doesn't really make sense to me why his encounter with death causes him to like like how his encounter with like a mystical like hell goddess causes his like evolutionary like him to evolve into something like death god like, because one would think that you would evolve into like natural things or like evolve kind of like you like magic is not like evolutionary. Like magic, I think it's like other occult magic weird craziness, right?
Or, I mean, if you said that magic is part of the natural world in 616, then, I mean, it makes sense that, when you touch fire, you evolve into fire or something fire resistant. I mean, it might have made more sense for him to evolve into a life god. In that sense, if we're looking at the fire analogy. But if you also look at, I mean, what cancels out a death god touch? Being a death god, maybe. So, yeah. When they introduced Darwin, I was like, you people are dumb. That's a horrible power. You broke the world.
Yeah,
so
well, because he was. Well,
yeah.
also, yeah, and I mean, the character always annoyed me because he was kind of like a lifeguard, where it's just like my powers are whatever I need it to be, and like, that's not very interesting. And sometimes he would evolve in ways that didn't really make sense. Like, okay, sure.
Yep. I did like how Peter David talked about his powers a little bit in this. It's pretty good. He talked about sometimes I can do this now and sometimes I can do this. I feel like it was just talking more about how wishy-washy his powers are. Just like describing how wishy-washy they are. But it was nice. It was something to put on the Wikipedia page,
And the one, so, shout outs before we go. This is kind of a late shout out, but I've been watching Political Animals, the limited series on USA, and I usually never watch anything on USA. Usually it's my boyfriend who's like constantly on like the Burnout and not Burnout, Burn Notice, and White Collar. But this show had everything that like was awesome about everything. It had Sigourney Weaver, being Hillary Clinton and being awesome. It had Sebastian Stan, who's totally adorable, and also doing coke off, cute guy's abs. What more do you want?
Nothing.
Nothing. And you get a show that's produced by Greg Berlanti, who is like, I'm convinced is like running my like entertainment life, because like everything that Greg Berlanti has ever made, I've been obsessed with. So,
like what?
Everwood, Brothers and Sisters, Jack and Bobby, more shit before that. I'm basically a Greg Berlanti like acolyte.
Well, I kiss the ground that Jane Espenson walks on, and so I've been very happy with Husbands and Warehouse 13.
Oh, I totally, yeah. Husbands and Joss Whedon being on Husbands was totally awesome.
And then Dagan and Trisha Helfer at the end, that was so awesome.
Yeah, and really confusing. I was like, what is this? But okay, we can have
go with it. It's what was on TV in the background.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, it was so hilarious. So I thought everything about that premiere episode was perfect. I don't know what days they come out, but I checked again today and it was like, still on episode 1.
Yeah. I'm also a big fan of Cheeks' facial hair. I think it looks good on him.
Oh, yeah. Well, but he's always had perfect facial hair.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But it's I feel
I
it's
feel
more
like that's his
more.
thing, is that he has perfect facial hair.
Okay.
Oh, we just had a flip, right?
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. See you later.